All right, guys, so in this video, we're going to work on the big showcase area, which has the big image. And let me just pull that up, actually. We'll pull up the final. I think it's helpful to look at the final project as well. So just give me 1 second here. Let's see, Mazooks. All right, so this is what the final project looks like. So we're going to be working on this main showcase area. So it has this text over here. It has the background with the overlay. It has this poster mock-up that I created in Photoshop. So that's what we'll be doing. And I'm just going to bring that out. Okay, so let's go back to VS Code. Let's go to our index.html. We're going to add the markup first. So we'll go under the nav. And let's add in our showcase. So this is going to be a section with the ID of showcase. And we're also going to give it a class of py5. We want padding on the top and bottom. I really love these margin and padding classes in Bootstrap. It saves a lot of time or a lot of custom CSS where you have to add your own margins and paddings. Now this is going to have an overlay just like in the last theme. So we're going to call this primary, a class with primary overlay. And we also want to make the text white. So I'm going to give it a class of text white. And in here we want our container because we want everything to be contained. And then let's put a row. And we're going to have two 6-column divs starting from the large screen. So it'll be call LG6, not MG, LG6, and let's do ×2 tab. Okay, now in this first one, we're going to have our text. I actually want everything centered, so I'm also going to add text center here. And then let's do an H1, and let's give it a display-2 class. It's going to be a pretty big font. And then I want to do a margin top 5, and let's also do a padding top 5 to kind of move it down. And then the text inside here is just going to say, do what you dream of, ... And then under the H1, we'll put a paragraph with the class of lead to make it a little more prominent. Let's do lorem 10 tab. And underneath the paragraph, we're going to have our button, which is actually a link formatted as a button. Let's do btn dash outline dash secondary. And let's also make it a large button, so btn LG. And let's also make the text white. Okay, and this is not actually going to go anywhere. And then inside the link, or inside the button, the text it's going to be read more, but I also want to put an icon next to it, an arrow right icon from Font Awesome. So I'm going to put an I tag with the class of FAS and also the class of FA-arrow-right, like that. All right, and then on the other side, on this other 6-column div, let's just put the image. So I'm going to say image. I'm going to give it a class of img fluid. And I only want this to show on large screens. So just like we did in the last video where we actually did it with the text, we're going to do that here as well. So we'll say display none at first, but then when it gets to the large screen, we want it to display as block. So we'll say d-lg-block, like that. And then the source is going to be in the image folder, and it's going to be book.png. Okay, so let's save that and let's see what it looks like. So right now, it's just, I mean, you can't even see the text because it's white. What we want is that background image, which we have to do through the CSS. And we also want to have that primary overlay. So let's go to our CSS. And let's see, we're going to go right below the nav bar. Make sure you're not within it. Make sure you're outside of it. And we want the ID of showcase. We're going to set it to position relative and set the background URL. So say background URL. And that's going to be in the image folder. Actually, we have to go outside of the CSS. So slash image slash, and then we want the mountains.jpg. And then let's set a min height for the showcase of 600 pixels. Now for the overlay, since the overlay is inside of showcase, we can use Sass to just nest it in here. So we can just do dot primary overlay. We'll set our background. Now the background, we actually have that set in a variable up here, so we can just simply put that in here. All right, now just like we did with the overlay in the other one, we want to set it to position absolute. Okay, this is what you do when you want your a child element to basically cover the entire parent. Okay, and the primary overlay is the child of showcase. So we want the background, the position absolute, start from top 0 and left 0. And we want the width to cover everything, so 100%, and also the height, 100%. All right, so let's go ahead and save, and let's take a look. And there we go. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now I'm not going to change the primary color variable within the variables, the custom bootstrap yet, because we haven't used primary. I want to just show you how it changes. So we'll do that in the next video. And in the next video, we're going to add the little newsletter section here and also the boxes. Okay, so we'll do that next.